how to get a flawless foundation finish in a few steps. Check it out. Here we go. All right, so I'm getting ready to show you how I do my foundation. I don't just use foundation. I use concealer, an under eye corrector, and a powder. So I'm going to show you all these steps. The first few things that I'm going to use a foundation primer on my face because I want to make sure to even out the pores, fill in any cracks and crevices, and then it helps make my makeup last a little bit longer. So let's get started. I love this foundation. It has age-fighting benefits. It's a matte finish. It goes on smooth and easy. It doesn't feel cakey. It doesn't feel heavy. Sometimes I'll squeeze it onto the back of my palette. Sometimes I squeeze it right onto my brush. I don't always do things the same, so. Now I'm going to use my under eye corrector and my concealer. I just glob these on underneath. The under eye corrector counteracts purple, so I like to get it in the corners, inner corners of my eye. It does have a salmon undertone to it. So I like to have the concealer because I am warm undertone. And sometimes when I'm not perfect about where I'm putting it, my placement, it's a little bit too pink. So I just go ahead and besides, I like to have the extra coverage under my eyes to brighten up my eye area. Anyway, I use the same brush and I start stippling, which means gently patting it and massaging it or moving it into place. I do typically go over my eyelids. I like to use my concealer and my under eye corrector as my eye primer. Now sometimes you'll find while doing this that your concealer on your lashes will cause your mascara to move. So just take a Q-tip or something and straighten that out. Now, if you're looking at this, you're like, wow, Carrie, you get a lot of white under here. We're going to balance that out with cheek color. I'm going to put a little concealer up here because it's lighter than my skin tone. I'm creating some natural highlight. The placement does not have to be perfect for it to look nice. So from here, I do my cheek color. I actually like to do a little bit of cheek color and a little bit of my bronzer together. Shake off your brush so you don't have too much fallout. Start under the center of your eye and work back. Back in the day, they used to tell you to work from your temple forward. It really just depends on, I think, the face shape because I've always had big cheeks, and when I did that, it just didn't look right. It didn't contour my face very well. All right, so I've used my cheek brush. Now I'm going to use, I have a big fluffy brush here. Also too, if you like to use a sponge, my sponge is in my dirty pile right now. It needs to be washed. So I used my brush for my under eye area. I've done both. It really doesn't matter. The application to me is exactly the same. So I have my cheek color on. I have two different powders that I like to use because I have a lot of different tones in my skin, and when I use my lighter color all over my face, then I look a little bit washed out, but I like to keep that lighter color under my eyes. So I go ahead and use the light ivory for under my eye area. Ignore the kids up there. It's mom life, right? And then use the medium color for all over my face. Medium ivory is what I'm using. I'm using the Carrie Case setting powder. So I usually start, and also too, when you're doing this, if you have too much cheek color on, it really blends that in a little bit better. This is the medium. I have to be intentional about putting my lighter color under my eyes. Some people don't have to worry about that as much. When I smile, everything really pinches up. So you can see that there. So I like to be intentional about putting the powder under my eyes. Some people need to do that, and that's great if you don't. So I'm taking my light color now. I used to use my sponge to apply this and then use my brush to brush the excess away. But with the new setting powder, I didn't feel like it was working quite the same as it used to. And I do have a little swollen. So I'm more intentional about applying my light right there. And then sometimes I do need to go back and put a little more cheek color on there. And then the next thing that you can do, you don't have to do this. I do like to do it. I use my same brush that I go under my eyes and all over my face, and I do a little bit of a darker contour color. This is my crazy palette that I've got all sorts of stuff in. I'm going to use this darker color down here at the bottom. This is a little bit too dark for me. I should have picked the lighter color. So I'm going to dab it in there. And then I'm going to mix. I have some leftover setting powder. I'm just going to help dull that a little bit. Then I'm going to add a little contour to my face. I'm not a heavy contour person. I like to just add a little bit there and a little bit there. Okay. All right. So that's the foundation part. I used foundation primer actually. Then I used foundation, under eye corrector, and concealer. And then I went in with my powders to help give me dimension back into my face, because a foundation is going to really eliminate those different shades that you have in your skin. So sometimes we want to add those back in a more intentional manner. So if you want, stick around and I'll go ahead and do the rest of my makeup and you can see the end result. There you go. All ready for the day. Tell me what you think of the foundation finish, what I did. I am no professional makeup artist. I am here to guide people to the right products that are going to work for them. But I love the Mary Kay line of foundations and concealers and just makeup in general. The skincare is by far my favorite. And when you have a great skin finish, then your foundation is going to look just that much better. So tell me what you think and share it with your friends. Thanks.